rapidly changing situation here in Ontario. I just want to tell you, if you were watching the 5 or the 5:30, it was not remotely as watery on this road. We were actually up that road standing over there, and we've made our way over here because that area was starting to get completely socked in with water. Since we've been standing here alone, look at my feet, they're already underwater, and these road signs, you can see the cones are almost completely submerged as well. Earlier we had some guys out here on a boat. I would not recommend that. This current is moving rapidly as you get closer and closer to the river, and there's huge pieces of debris making their way down the current as well. And I've been speaking to residents all afternoon about how they're protecting their homes and their property from this flooding.
That's life living on the farm.
Alan Montgomery grew up on this farm. In addition to goats, cattle, paintball gunfights, and corn mazes, he says flooding is just a part of life, living along the banks of the Malheur River. But he's only seen conditions get this serious about once a decade.
This is one of the higher floods, and we're prepared most of the time for the smaller ones. The bigger ones, you think you have everything, and then you realize, oh, wait a minute, we forgot about this or that or whatever.
From broken fences to submerged pastures, Montgomery says preparation only goes so far.
I've had to rebuild fences many times because the water just lays them over.
And Montgomery isn't the only one experiencing flooding. Now we're seeing this sort of flooding all throughout Malheur County. We're standing here on the intersection of Malheur Drive and 36th Street. And I was speaking with a couple on the corner who tell me that this is some of the worst flooding that they have seen in the decade since they've lived here. And they were telling me that this field right across the street here that they own gets completely flooded, and that water comes all the way through, all the way to where these sheep are in this field. We've been tracking this situation in Malheur County throughout the day Tuesday. We were there along Highway 20 in Vail when floodwaters prompted a road closure, leaving semi-trucks stranded and homeowners scrambling to protect their property. Take a look at this drone footage we captured just outside of Vail, floodwaters surrounding homes. These residents turning to bales of hay in an effort to keep the water out.
Thank heavens, this year they emptied some of the reservoirs early, and so right now the reservoirs are not dumping anything. They're collecting everything that's coming down.
But Montgomery has seen worse. He remembers one year when ice the size of cars stacked up across his childhood lawn.
It took almost till June for all that ice to melt. It was so big.
And I just want to reiterate how quickly this is changing. Just since I've been standing here, this water continues to come in. We continue to have to make our way away from this roadway. My feet are completely submerged in water. And I just want to hand it over to Scott, our chief meteorologist, with more information on what exactly is happening and what we can expect throughout the rest of the evening. Scott, what are we looking at in terms of this changing situation throughout the night?
Yeah, Riley, I've been watching the gauge, and it is just slowly rising, about 6 inches of rise there in the last, say, hour or so. And that 6 inches of a vertical rise can go a long way, and you're noticing that as you're there. And so the river's still rising, and we can see what's going to happen in Ontario by looking at what's been happening in Vail. There's been a crest, but it's kind of plateauing. It's coming down ever so slowly, if at all, and that means the same thing will occur in Ontario. We're likely to see a crest in the next several hours, maybe later this evening, and it's going to hang there for a while. And so this flooding here is going to last.